I'm Locke Meredith. I'd like to invite you to join me on the next Legal Lines, where my guest is Sharon Weston Broome. She is the mayor of the city of Baton Rouge and the parish president. She's running for re-election on November 5th. She's going to talk to us about the state of the city and the parish, the good things, the challenges, and what her plans are for the future. So join us on the next Legal Lines with Sharon Weston Broome. Thank you. Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates has served our community by airing Legal Lines, a community educational program for 18 years weekly to Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas. Watch Legal Lines at LockeMeredith.com or Cox Channel 1004.
Hi, I'm Sean Fagan of Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates. When insurance companies have been unfair, we've never been afraid to go to trial. Fighting hard to protect your rights, we never settle a case out of convenience. We only settle when it's right for you. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call.
Hello, welcome to Legal Lines. I'm Locke Meredith, and I'm very pleased to have back on the show Sharon Weston Broome. She is the mayor of the city of Baton Rouge and the parish president. Mayor, it's wonderful to have you back on the show. Let's kind of continue. We've previously done a show, and we're going to keep moving forward. Yeah. So you recently put out a document called The State of the City of Baton Rouge and the Parish. Describe for folks, because I envision the city as a massive multi-billion-dollar business that you have to be the CEO of.
Absolutely. I think that's a good way to put it. You know, Baton Rouge has been in existence for about 325
it's unbelievable.
years. And we have grown immensely over those years. And so now we're looking at the city parish with 4,600 employees.
4,600 employees?
Yes.
Is that for the entire parish or just the city?
Oh,
or
for
both?
The entire parish. City, we call it city parish government.
City parish.
So these hardworking public servants help make our city and our parish run smoothly. And so it is just like a business in many ways.
And they're all employees.
They're all employees. And so they help us keep the city running. We have a number of departments.
How many departments do you have?
We have about 14 departments. And
all those employees are dispersed amongst those departments.
They're dispersed among those departments. And so when I think about our work in city parish government, I think about the fact that we have to make sure that we have a balanced budget. That's very important. Our budget is over $1 billion.
It's incredible.
But what I always like our citizens to know is that they can see where every tax dollar is being spent. On our website, we have Open Checkbook. And as a result of Open Checkbook, you can go and see the dollars and cents of your tax dollars and where they're going.
I went to the website in preparation for the show.
So we have
incredible, all the information.
We have a lot of information there. And I like to say that we have been for several years in a row one of the top 10 digital cities.
I read that.
And
there's like a little square for the award.
Very significant. And so that means that our technology is up to the 21st century and beyond in terms of what we are doing.
And folks can actually do business via the website. What is the website?
The website is brla.gov.
Okay.
And I'm glad you mentioned that because we want our citizens to access not only our website, but the MyBR app as well. Speaking of keeping up with technology, we have an app that people can download and immediately get access to a lot of information.
Which, like permits, payments, all kinds of stuff.
Yes. So we're moving towards being more online, user-friendly. We still have some growth in those areas, but we recognize that we have to operate efficiently in city parish government. We want to deliver quality basic services to our citizens, but we also recognize that in doing that, we have to work efficiently. That means I have to be fiscally responsible.
Well, that's my next question.
I have to be fiscally responsible. I have to make sure that our budget is balanced, and sometimes we have to tighten our belt because of various situations and circumstances. But I'm proud to say today that we have a AAA bond rating.
That's where I was headed, because you got to borrow money, that $1 billion sales tax that's funding this infrastructure. You're borrowing that money from a place, and if you've got a bad credit rating, you're going to pay big bucks.
Well, we have
a
good credit rating, and I believe that speaks to the responsiveness and our being fiscally responsible, making sure
that's a big deal.
Yeah, it is,
because that reduces people's taxes ultimately.
And I'm very proud that we have accomplished that in my administration. I'm very proud that we have strong reserves in our city parish government as well. And so we're going to continue to move forward on the projects. The state of our city is strong. I first talked about the state of our city at the beginning of the year, but I can unequivocally say that even today that the state of our city is strong. And we have evidence in the fact that we have the strongest economy in the state of Louisiana, right here in the capital region.
I read that we're like 1/4 the population, but we're generating 1/3 the jobs.
That's right. And when we look forward to the next 2 years, Dr. Lawrence Scott has said we're about to create 16,000 new jobs.
He's a wonderful economist. I have him on the show regularly, and he's been doing that forever. Everybody listens to what Dr. Scott says. So tell me about your staff. I mean, there's so many people in such a massive operation. How do you go around managing and delegating responsibility? I know you've got the Metro Council that helps in that regard, I guess.
Well,
tell me how that works.
The Metro Council really works more on the legislative side.
Right. You're the executive.
They work on the delivery of services, though, for their districts. They work on delivery of services for their district. They're responsive to their constituents in their district. But at the end of the day, it's under a big umbrella. And so I have a chief administrative officer who helps in my day-to-day operations of a city parish government. I have a chief of staff, and we usually have at least two assistant chief administrative officers.
And then they kind of disperse the responsibility through.
Absolutely. They have departmental responsibilities for many of the departments.
So explain that, as I understand it, also up for the vote, in addition to the mayor's race, is the plan of government. Can you explain to folks what that is and how this is coming about?
Well, there are a couple of amendments to the plan of government. Which are proposed.
That's what people are going to vote on.
Yeah, these amendments have been proposed by a council member who has been working on addressing and updating our plan of government. The two issues primarily are for an executive council for the mayor's office and a parish administrator. Or city manager. It's almost synonymous. It's actually almost synonymous to just a city manager or parish administrator. So I will tell you, I do have some pause about the amendment because this individual, especially the parish administrator's role, would have to be approved by the council, but work for me. And so as the CEO, I think I should be able to.
All right, well, let's continue this on the next segment. This is Locke Meredith with Legal Lines, my very special guest, Sharon Broome, Mayor of the City of Baton Rouge, President of the parish. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith. Injuries happen when you least expect them to, making your life more complicated. At Locke Meredith, Shawn Fagan and Associates, we know this, and we strive to help each of our clients during these times. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555.
Locke Meredith, Shawn Fagan and Associates has won for our clients over $175 million over the decades, but our greatest success is our clients who have chosen and trusted us to help them. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call. You've got nothing to lose.
I'm lawyer Collins Locke Meredith. Trust is important when hiring an injury law firm. At Locke Meredith, Shawn Fagan Associates, thousands have trusted us and gotten the results they deserved. Visit us at LockeMeredith.com. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call, 272-5555.
Hello, welcome back to Legal Lines. I'm Locke Meredith. Very pleased to have back on the show Sharon Weston Broome. She is the mayor of the city of Baton Rouge and the parish president. Mayor, let's dive back in. So there's this thing called the plan of government. It's actually a consolidation, as I understand it, of whatever entities and controls and government might control the parish, which would be the unincorporated areas, which are technically just not cities, which have their own independent governments. And we have 5 cities now. So one of the, as I understand our last discussion, that there's a Metro Council person who's looking at possibly trying to change the plan of government by creating a position that would be under your umbrella called a city planner or manager.
It would be a city manager type position. It is called the parish administrator.
I see.
My pause about the amendment in that respect is because the council would have to sign off on my selection. I believe...
Basically have a veto.
Well, yeah, basically, yeah, I think that's accurate. And I will say that this position is so critical that I feel that we're not really focusing on really what is the big issue around the position. I believe that we should have somebody credentialed, somebody who has the experience, who can add value to the position of what we call right now as Chief Administrative Officer. One of the challenges that we face is that the compensation for this particular position does not measure up to the responsibilities and what we would like to see from a chief administrative officer or a parish administrator.
Meaning you don't have enough money to hire somebody that might be able to do a little bit more than normally what's available.
Yeah,
with the rate.
And I believe that we have someone in the position now who is doing a good job. But if we want to change the scope of the this position, then it's more than just an amendment where the council controls who is supported or selected, which this person is going to be working with me like my right-hand person. So my right-hand person should not only have the credentials, but have the chemistry to work with me. Yes, they will be making presentations for the mayor's office to the city council members, but therein lies a conflict, I believe, in having the control of who this person is, the selection from the council versus the mayor president having sole responsibility in terms of selecting that individual.
Yeah, it seems like a conflict between the legislature, so to speak, and the executive. I know you recently, last year, hired a new police chief.
I did.
For the city of Baton Rouge. Tell folks about him and how are we doing in that regard? Because I know morale was real low during the previous terms because of all the tragedies that went on, losing 4 officers and just all the racial concerns that were going on, marches and such. And he seems like a guy that, based on what I've read, is kind of zoned in on that kind of stuff.
So we have had a transition in leadership after the retirement of Chief Murphy Paul. I brought on Chief TJ Morris. I will tell you some of the attributes that I saw in him in my selection of him as chief. One is that he has been over the police academy. So he has trained our police officers. He has been a person who's been involved in a various specialized training and classes that I believe help build our community policing arm. And
Which I assume kind of helps address the racial concerns, the trust between police and the population.
I believe that's an ongoing issue
Always.
that we have to work on. And we have made some strides and some progress in terms of closing the gap between law enforcement and our police officers. And Chief Morris continues down that path. He recently implemented a Chief's Youth Advisory Council.
Interesting.
So he's bringing young people into the department, meeting with them on I think it's a monthly basis. And that gives them not only exposure to what goes on in the police department, but it also gives the chief input in terms of what these young people think about the police, and gives them an opportunity to have a listening ear to their ideas as well as their concerns.
We've often talked in the past that the bottom line, it's impossible for the police department to control a society as big as ours, and that a lot of the issues is distrust between the areas of the population and
That's
the police.
right.
And I think that y'all have implemented as many programs that you can to help that scenario. How are those programs going?
Those programs are making an impact, I believe, as I shared with you about our Safe, Hopeful, Healthy initiative. We have members of our community who work as violence interventionists. So they're community boots on the ground. That makes a difference. That complements the work that the police department is doing. And so I believe we are moving in the right direction. Of course, as I said, we cannot police our way out of crime. Right. We have to have the police, and we have to have the community working together.
And you've gotten for them, along with the Metro Council, a significant raise. I know for a while you couldn't get anybody to want to even stay, much less join the police department all over the nation.
We offered and implemented a 13% raise in my administration, and beyond that, we dedicated money to give incentives to people who joined our department, and we also gave incentives to lateral moves, people who wanted to come from other places and join our department as well. So we've been very intentional on our recruitment as well as our retention.
How are we doing on need versus quantity? Are we about where we want to be?
Well, being a police officer these days, being a police officer, as I often say, is not for the faint of heart.
No.
So I don't know what the data shows, but I believe that you really, really have to feel the calling to public
like
service as a police officer. So I want to see what the data shows on how many recruits we see today compared to 10 years ago.
And that hopefully is moving in the right direction.
Yes.
How are we doing on crime rate right now? Are we?
We have work to do. We have work to do on crime. I'm optimistic that we will see a downward trajectory before the year is
All right, we'll continue this on the next segment. This is Locke Meredith of Legal Line, Sharon, Weston, Broome, the mayor of the city of Baton Rouge, parish president. We'll be right back.
I'm lawyer Collins Locke Meredith. Among the most important factors to consider when you're hiring an injury attorney is trust. You trust your attorney will put your interest first, treat you with respect, fairness, and honesty. You trust them to be there for you when you need them. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, thousands of clients have trusted us to represent them, and for good reasons. Please visit us at LockeMeredith.com to learn more, and whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates has won for our clients over $175 million over the decades, but our greatest success is our clients who have chosen and trusted us to help them. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call. You've got nothing to lose. Welcome back to Legal Lines. I'm Locke Meredith. Very pleased to have back on the show Sharon Weston Broome. She is the mayor for the city of Baton Rouge, parish president. Mayor, let's dive back in. So talk to me, we've talked about kind of the big issues that you've had to address over your last 2 terms as mayor. Tell me about economic development for the city and the parish.
Well, I'm pleased to say that today Baton Rouge has the strongest economy in the state of Louisiana.
Excellent.
I'm also excited that It's been predicted that we will have 16,000 new jobs in the next 2 years. That means that we have to be very intentional as we look at our workforce development plans, that we should be training and make sure we have avenues of training that are going to connect to those 16,000 jobs that are coming in the next 2 years. The data shows that some of the high jobs that are in demand right now are in the area of healthcare and IT or technology.
I saw Southern just graduated their largest male nurse class.
That's right.
Is that what I read?
saw that as well.
Excellent.
And so there are a lot of different avenues of and opportunities in health. I went to a graduation recently where a lot of young people are into coding. That's a big thing in the healthcare industry.
Coding.
Yes.
Yeah, because you got to write. Yeah, those doctors are complaining to me about that all the time.
So that's a big issue. So we need to put our young people in opportunities where they can be trained for these new jobs that are about to come. Our economy
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, you got to have a workforce that's capable of filling the jobs available.
Yes, I am glad that we have seen industry and new businesses come to Baton Rouge. And like I often say, sometimes I think we're a little too hard on ourselves as a community. I really do, because we don't see, we don't focus enough on the positive things that are happening. And there are a lot of positive things.
Tell me the positive stuff.
Well,
I mean, you're getting ready to run again
yeah,
for a third term.
Yeah, we have to work on the challenges and celebrate the triumphs. And a big triumph is the fact that Amazon brought a big fulfillment center here. And
how many folks is that going to employ?
1,400 people and growing the number of people employed. It's a big deal and a positive when you have a diverse operation like Burrell Aviation that is now going to be a part of our community. So what happens when you have, for example, new businesses that come in on our corridor, like an Amazon? I remember when people thought that Cortana Mall was going to be a blighted property, and we were working in negotiations with Amazon. Well, now Amazon is serving as a catalyst for
collateral businesses.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to have an Aldi's there. We already have a Starbucks and, other businesses, a new automotive business. I went to a ribbon cutting. But we've also been focusing on areas of disinvestment, like North Baton Rouge.
Right.
So there was a Howell Place, a building in the Howell Place Medical Circle. And that building had been empty for the most part for years. I was able to bring Ochsner's Healthcare as well as Ocean's Behavioral Health there. And so now that building is back in commerce, and it serves as a catalyst for the surrounding areas.
Other medical components.
Exactly. So my vision for Baton Rouge is a big vision. In the next 4 years, we're going to see many transformative projects start launching. As you probably have heard, I'm working on a hotel conference center for downtown Baton Rouge, where our River Center is. That's going to...
Next to it or replacing it?
Well, right now, it's in the discussion phase before it gets to the design phase.
I see.
But the concept is a hotel conference center that will attract more big conferences to our city and complement the hotel rooms that we already have. As you know, when you go to some cities, there's a huge conference hotel. Yep. You can walk from the hotel
to the... more convenient.
And it's more convenient. So we want to attract those major conferences. I have the privilege of right now serving as first vice president of the National League of Cities. I am about to, next year, become the president of the National League of Cities. 2,000 cities, towns, and villages that I will be representing. And one of the goals that happens with the president is that we get to all have as president a leadership conference in our city. So I look forward to bringing that leadership conference to Baton Rouge. But we are making big moves all over town, from North Baton Rouge to places like the Florida Boulevard Corridor Project that's about to emerge, the Plank Road Corridor Project that's about to emerge. We have affordable housing that is evolving in a lot of different areas of town, especially in areas of disinvestment. I just put out a $3 million request for proposal so we can get a grocery store into an area of disinvestment. So we have been making some very significant progress on the economic development front, and I look forward to us continue to grow.
Well, so the election is for another 4 years. The election's on November 5th. I think there's 4 folks who are running possibly, and there may be a runoff. That would be December 7th because you just have so many involved in it. So tell folks kind of what the motivation is and what you want to tell them.
Well, I've had the opportunity on your show today to talk about a lot of our successes, to give a vision. And one of my big visions is for a riverfront development that's going to start at Southern University, the bluffs of Southern University, one of the most scenic views of our river, and then go downtown, develop our riverfront there, and then go out towards Nicholson where we own some property and develop a park or something that the community can come together on.
So that's a big span of the river.
Yeah, and our river is one of our greatest
Absolutely.
assets. So I want to accentuate our assets as we look into the future for Baton Rouge. So when we look at our successes, I believe that between the successes and the challenges that we had, I've led us through some tough times. Sometimes I feel like a crisis manager mayor.
You've had to deal with a
because
lot of
we've
stuff.
dealt with hurricanes, a pandemic, you name it, we've dealt with it, but we've still come out strong. And people know me, they know my public service, and we have laid a foundation. We have started building on that foundation, and I want to complete the structure, the building that we're in the process of making for Baton Rouge. And to do that, I need everyone's help, and I certainly need their support. But we are on a trajectory of becoming the best mid-sized city in America.
Mayor, thank you so very much for being on the show again. This has been Locke Meredith with Mayor Sharon Broome, the Mayor of the City of Baton Rouge, and the Parish President. Thank you for being with us.